I went to Breckenridge, Colorado to chase some FKTs, race, and train in the high alpine at 10,000 feet. Day one in Breckenridge, Colorado. I'm here to train and then race a basin at the end of the week. I'm gonna keep it easy today because one, I just got up to 10,000 feet, so my body needs a little bit of time to adjust to the extra altitude. And then two, I've been a little bit tight just from traveling. I've been traveling a ton, just got back from Europe, then went all the way out to Colorado. So it's been a lot of travel and my body's feeling a little bit tight. So doing some extra mobility and then just keeping it easy until my body is feeling really, really good to push it a little bit more. Like I said, I kept it easy today, but still got in a good amount of vert. During this trip, I'm training for my goal race for the season, the Golden Trail Series Final. The final is comprised of 2 days of racing with a shorter, faster race day one and a longer race the next day. The first race is 4 miles with about 1,700 feet of gain and loss, and the final is 15 miles with 6,000 feet of gain and loss. The races are steep, so this week I need to get used to steep climbs and doing hard efforts back to back. I'm hitting up a double right now. I'm actually cutting it quite close to sundown, so gonna get this in today, but just going for a nice easy double on some flatter trails. Lots of roots though. I'm headed out for a long run today. The route I'm doing is 10.5 miles with 3,500 feet of vert. It's not very long mileage-wise, but it is very verty. Today, my body started feeling a lot better. I had been stiff from travel, so I spent a lot of time foam rolling and doing mobility to loosen up my muscles. Usually, it takes a few days after travel for my body to feel good running again, so I listen to those cues and take it easy until I feel ready to push again. I can still build a lot of endurance running easy in the mountains, so that's what I focused on while I waited for my body to feel normal. This was also a good chance to check out the course for my next workout, an FKT attempt on Peak 8. It is Monday, and today I'm going to run Peak 8, and I'm going to do a hard run on it. So I'm going to run up and down pretty fast and just try to push myself a little bit on this climb and descent. I've created this route on Strava, so it's 7.5 miles and 3,400-ish feet of gain and loss, just going straight up some ski hills. And I really love this routes feature because I can create a route in Strava and then it's connected to my Suunto watch. So my routes from Strava go directly to my Suunto watch. They're saved there, and then I can access them and run a route that I have created from Strava through my watch. An FKT is essentially a course record, and for my workout today, I was going for the record up and down Peak 8, which is one of the most prominent peaks in Breckenridge. The route starts at a parking lot in town, and you can choose your route up to the peak and down. The shortest way is also the steepest way and goes right up the ski hills. It's about 3.7 miles to the top and 3,400 feet of gain. The record for this was 1 hour, 41 minutes, and 46 seconds, so my goal was to run under this time, and my bigger goal was to run under 1 hour and 35 minutes up and down. I made it to the top in just under an hour in 58 minutes and 56 seconds, and then I ran the steep and techy downhill as fast as I could and finished in 1 hour, 34 minutes, and 25 seconds. I've run this downhill before, and I used to hate this downhill, but I've really focused on practicing techy downhills, and now I really enjoy them. I'm doing a hike this evening. I maybe could have run and done a double instead, but I'm trying to be really careful with my Achilles. I felt really good and had a great workout this morning, so trying not to push it and just being careful. But up at 10,000 feet, hiking uphill definitely gets your heart rate up. So it's a good double that's a little bit gentler on my body. I think this is the best way to train. I am just really, really in tune with my body, and I feel like I wasn't this way, or maybe I was in tune with my body when I first started running pro after college, but I just did not listen. When I was feeling any type of pain, I would just run through injuries. I'm a lot more in tune to listening to my body now and just feeling out when I feel like I can push and when I need to back off a little bit. Right after college, I would get injured every 6 months, just about, and now I haven't had a huge injury in a really long time. I've had maybe small things that have hurt, but I've been able to stop in time and adjust as I need to, and it's made training a whole lot more fun and sustainable too. Injuries that maybe would have taken a month and a half or a month to heal, I catch them in time to make it so that they only take 3 to 4 days to heal. Maybe I take a few days off of running and then I'm back at it instead of trying to push through for weeks and then getting really, really injured. If something is hurting and it's a 4 or higher on a scale of 1 to 10, I take off about 3 days and usually that just clears it up. Maybe I'll go in and get a massage or try to figure out what is tight that's making that part of my body hurt. A lot of times it's muscular at that stage anyway for me, unless it's a bone thing, but I've also started fueling a ton better than I did when I was right out of college. So usually it's not something bone related. A lot of times bone injuries are due to underfueling, and since I've been fueling properly, I haven't had bone related injuries. They're always some kind of muscular injury. So finding the knot or where I'm tight in my body in those 3 to 4 days that I'm taking off really, really helps. Whew, I am tired today, but I'm gonna meet up with a friend to run. Definitely feeling the workout from yesterday, and being at 10,000 feet, it's just really, really hard to recover up here. So we're just gonna take it nice and easy. I'm going to some new trails that I haven't checked out before, and I think they're just some rolling hills, so it'll be a pretty light and easy run in the trails, and excited to get to catch up with a friend too. I didn't feel that good running today, but it was really fun catching up with a friend, and we took it really easy on some new trails. Today is another hard workout day, so I'm gonna try to run this mountain pretty hard. I'm trying to work on getting better at scrambling and the techie stuff because the Golden Trail Series final is pretty techie, and so doing ridge runs like this and runs where I have to scramble will really help me hopefully to train toward the Golden Trail Series final, which is my main goal for the season. Like I said, I have done this mountain before, but it was my first time up there, and since it's scrambly, it's really hard to route find, and I didn't really know that heading into it. I think I was in over my head. I definitely hit a couple sections where I got cliffed out and didn't really know the way forward, so I think I did this in 2 hours, 2 minutes. A goal for today is to do this in under 2 hours, so trying to do this one harder and just see how fast I can go up and down this mountain. I was already feeling fatigue in my legs from the workout just 2 days before, which I anticipated, but today I realized just how hard it is to recover up at 10,000 feet. The lack of oxygen already makes running uphill really hard, but it also slows down recovery. I ran a lot slower on the fire road section of this route than I had before, so I had to depend on my scrambling and downhill skills to make up the time. This route was still hard to find, and a lot of places the trail is either really hard to find or non-existent, so it's a choose-your-own-adventure course on the ridgeline. I made up a lot of time on the scramble and reached the top a minute and a half ahead of myself from the last time, but I knew I still needed to push to finish under 2 hours, and I really needed to push if I wanted to run a record time under 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 8 seconds. I stayed calm on the technical ridgeline and got ready to send it and use my track speed once I reached the fire road. Once I made it to the fire road, I could finally start running faster, and I had a few miles in the 5 and 6 minute range. I also somehow hit a rock or something. I actually don't really know what happened, but I ate it and hit the ground really hard in the last mile. This is probably one of the worst falls I've had in the trails. Nothing was really injured or broken, but I got a lot of bruises, road burn from sliding, and a few big cuts. The trails are hard, but I managed to finish in 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 24 seconds, under 2 hours, and just under the record time too. The next day was an easy day. I was glad that I didn't have any big injuries from the fall, but I was definitely sore both from the fall and the 2 big days of hard running I had done already this week. All of the work was really starting to stack up, so I kept the intensity low today. I'm headed out for a double right now. I would not say I feel good today, but sometimes that's just how you feel in the middle of a big training block. It is the day before the race. It's Friday, and I'm taking today off, which I'm very excited about because I am pretty sore. This week is a really ambitious week, doing 2 big workouts, basically racing and also trying to race too. And I think this will set me up for the Golden Trail Series final, because in the final there's a prologue, which is a shorter race, about 40-45 minutes, and then a final 2 days later. We do have to race twice in the final, so I think that this week is a good week of really hard workouts in training just to get my legs used to having to run really hard a few times in the week. I'm still going to push myself really hard, but I think that when you do races that aren't your A races, kind of in the middle of training like this, it's really important to keep in perspective where you're at in training and not compare yourself to competition when you're not fresh. It is race morning for AP Sin. I'm feeling kind of excited for this one. I have some friends and athletes that are racing here, so I'm excited to get to see them, but I'm definitely not feeling 100% going into this race. I'm just trying to frame this as a hard workout and race in the middle of training, and I can never be bad about running in the mountains in Colorado in the summer. Just arrived at the race course, and this is the altitude. I was so tired going into this race, and normally I'm good about listening to my gut, but I definitely should have listened to my gut better on this one, and it would have been smarter to not race. Being up at 10,000 feet and doing 2 workouts over 90 minutes for the week did not set me up to race well. I had a really hard time breathing, both from the altitude, low energy, and the fact that it was super smoky, so my body was not working well with me, and even the downhill felt really hard. Okay, I know what some of you are gonna say, that I went on this big monologue in the middle of the video talking about how I'm good at listening to my body, and then when it came to race day, I wasn't. But I do think that there's a difference between knowing when you're good to train and knowing when you're good to race. If you're planning on racing a race that's not your goal race in the middle of a big training block, I think it's okay to race as long as you go into the race feeling 80 to 90% energized. I was probably at 60% on race day, so it honestly wouldn't have even been smart to do a workout, and I should have just run easy. I think that I was okay to train, but just not okay to race that day. So the race was a huge fail, but the week of training in itself was a really good week of training. I got in 13 hours of training, ran 64 miles, and got in 16,400 feet of elevation. It is really tough to end on a bad note, but I did accomplish 2 out of the 3 big training goals that I had for the week, including getting the course record on P-Gate and on Baldy. And even though I had a tough race, I'm really excited about where I'm at in training on the way to the Golden Trail Series final. I've done enough training blocks in my life to know that in every training block, I'm going to have workouts that I crush and workouts that crush me too. So 2 out of 3 workouts on the week is not bad, but I definitely could have listened to my gut better and not raced on race day. Up next for me is the Golden Trail Series final in Italy. It is my A race for the season, the one I've been training all season for, so look out for some videos on some course recon and race week, and I'm really excited to get over there and race. I've made videos of every single one of my races for this season and some of my training too, so go back and watch those if you want to follow my season, and thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe for more running content and adventure in the trails, and I'll see you next time.